Vince, you set the gold standard first.
Oh, okay.
Or do you want to stall?
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll just do it live. We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
I'll start on the East Coast, and I'll just start
Please.
from the top. Miami, Atlanta. That's an easy slam dunk. That's going to be Miami. Orlando, Charlotte. I think Orlando is the better team, although I think Charlotte's manager in the style that he plays and like being in a lot of cup games in England, I'm going to go with an upset there. I'm going to go Charlotte.
Whoa.
Cincy, NYCFC. Cincy had a major blip, but I think that they're a much better team now. I like the way that they played against LAFC, whereas NYCFC is super inconsistent. Could I see them beating Cincy? Yes, but I don't think it's going to happen. And then Columbus is beating the Red Bulls. Don't even care about that. LAFC, Vancouver. I'm going to go with LAFC. As we've said, I just don't see a world in which they play as poorly defensively and in their own box. And Vancouver just they don't really have a great style to match up with us. I think they can push us because they'll work hard, but I don't think that they have the talent and or the style to really best LAFC. Seattle, Houston. I'm going to go Houston, although I think Seattle, that's going to be pretty close. RSL, Minnesota. I think RSL is better than Minnesota. That's a pretty easy one. I would love to get cute with Galaxy, Colorado, but anytime I try to get cute with things like that, it goes very wrong. So like Galaxy are going through. I just think injuries for Colorado, it's too tough. Okay, back to the East. Cincy, Columbus.
Hell is Real is fun. That's a fun.
It is fun. This is like a toss-up, right? This would be like if LAFC it reaches a contest against the Galaxy. I think Cincy's been hurt mostly in their defensive line, and at the end of the day, Columbus will take advantage of that. Again, Miami just getting through because they don't lose games. I don't understand Miami. I'm just gonna go with it.
Wait, it's really interesting how the first round matchup between NYCFC and Cincinnati ends up deciding a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The domino effect of that matchup is really kind of crazy. Because depending on what happens there, you have Hell is Real. Depending on what happens there, you have a team that may or may not be able to upset Miami. I don't know. That's interesting. Sorry,
I can't see. Well, you can't see many teams beating Columbus, but Hell is Real. Cincinnati plays well, right? I mean, both teams do, but it is when it's a real rivalry game, anything can fucking happen.
It puts something else in play that's interesting. I don't fear Houston as much as a lot of people do. I do think that they're a good team, but I think in terms of the style that they play, it just plays into LAFC's hands. I think Ponce is is a serious level up for them. And that is the difference between them playing LAFC in the Western Conference final last year and them actually beating LAFC this year. But I think when it comes to playoffs, LAFC is will reach another level.
I want you to know, because you said that Houston matches up well against us, that the dorks over at Extra Time like to say that Houston, maybe it's not Extra Time. I've heard pundits say this, that Houston.
No, there's only dorks at Extra Time. So that's who it is.
that Columbus or Houston is the Columbus of the East or the West. They play in a similar style to Columbus. Do you agree with that?
If you squint really hard.
It's like they play beautiful
if you're
soccer,
really drunk,
or
if you're like them on the East Coast, if you're fully asleep.
Their soccer's fun, but at the end of the day, you got to win games. Like no one fucking cares at this point, honestly. Like it was an anomaly that Columbus played in the way that they did and actually won it, and that I will give them more credit for because it is pleasing on the eye. But had they lost, who fucking cares? Like let's be honest. And again, I love the Extra Time guys, but they get a little wrapped up in being like, it's beautiful soccer. It is. But at the end of the day, teams got to win games.
I'm so tired of all the MLS journalists only knowing a lot about the East Coast teams and favoring the East Coast teams. I know that Columbus and Miami are the best teams. I agree with them. But when you listen to those shows, it's very clear that they've just watched the clips. They went to bed and they watched the clips from the West Coast game.
It's much easier to pick out flaws, I think, from teams you don't like the way they play.
Yes.
Sure.
You know, like if you don't like the way LAFC plays, you can be like, they're not that good. Okay, but they're brutally efficient. So I get it. Again, I don't want to get too cute. I think RSL could give the Galaxy problems, but it's going to be at StubHub, and I don't see them losing there.
Your final four are the final four that I think most people are guessing, right? That's what Vegas is guessing.
Probably.
LAFC, Galaxy.
Yeah, my final four is definitely, I guess my only upset so far is having Charlotte go through. So I don't think, these playoffs have starting to go the way of the best teams are getting through, and I think that's maybe not good for storylines for MLS, but good for MLS in general. Like the best teams need to be playing in the best games. Okay,
So you have Miami Columbus?
Miami Columbus, and I have LAFC Galaxy. And so for that, it's going to be in Miami. See, that's the thing. And then it's just messy. Like I've seen him do so many things, like incredible things with Miami, everywhere else he's ever gone. I mean, he just scored a hat trick for Argentina. Like the guy's he's incredible.
And then scored a hat trick for Miami, I think 4 days later.
Yeah. It must be nice to be so confident and good at something. Okay.
It's supposed to be you with bracketology, Vince.
Yeah, I've said it all year. I still believe LAFC. And then, you know what? I don't think this is a popular opinion, but fuck it. I want to see LAFC win. So I'm just going to go there, and that'll make me happy. LAFC beats Miami.
In Miami. What a fun game that would be.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys go there and don't get COVID.
You're not coming to Miami?
Do you know how much tickets are going to cost? On a podcaster's salary?
Also, we're in Miami, and I'm pretty sure the cocaine will block the COVID from getting into the nostrils. So
well, in that case, I'm in. But just for that part, I won't go to the game.
Yeah, no, you're just doing cocaine in Long Beach.
Yeah.
All right, Darren, you want me to go or you want to go?
Go ahead.
All right, I'll start on the East just so we go together. So I have Miami beating Atlanta. Obviously, this website is so good. I've already made my picks. I also picked Charlotte to beat Orlando. So that is a similar upset. But I have, in a fluke, NYCFC beating Cincinnati. I have Cincinnati going down in the first round to NYCFC.
I have that too.
Okay, that's a bigger upset.
Yes. And Columbus beating the Red Bull. In the West, we beat Vancouver. I also have Houston beating Seattle. I think Seattle's been a little bit inconsistent this year. I know they've played really great lately. I think Houston, just from the eye test, is a better team. When I've watched all these teams play, I'm more scared of Houston. I have Minnesota beating RSL just because I feel like both of those teams could flop at any point. I know that you hate Minnesota, but I'm also trying to win a bracket, and you have to make weird choices when you're trying to win a bracket thing.
Sure.
And I have the Galaxy beating Colorado. Next round, East, we're going chalk. Miami, Columbus, those are going to be the two teams. I don't think it's going to be close.
Especially when you have NYCFC already making the upset, then
Yes.
It just makes the path that much easier, I think.
Yep. And so, yeah, Miami will dominate Charlotte. Columbus will dominate New York. LAFC versus Houston, scared of the matchup. I have us going through. Galaxy, easy against Minnesota in Carson. Same Final Four as you.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this, Vince, and when this happens in brackets, you got to make choices that no one else will make. You got to make choices that no one else will make.
Yep.
You got to make... this isn't what I want to happen, but I'm trying to win a bracket, guys.
Derek, cut all this stuff out and go straight to his pick.
I have... and I also have Miami winning. So where am I going to break with the rest of our fans? I have the Galaxy beating LAFC in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh my
in
God.
BMO to go to Miami. Well, they will lose to Miami. This is not what I want to happen, but it is the only way that I know I will be able to differentiate myself in the Final Four from a bunch of superstitious motherfuckers who I know all picked the same Final Four. So the Galaxy move on, lose to Miami.
Wow.
Miami wins in the final.
Wow.
I know it's bad juju, but I want to win this fucking bracket.
You want to win our bracket that bad.
Yeah.
Would
you want to win if it cost LAFC?
You were no longer allowed to go to BMO Stadium.
I'm not going to be rooting for us. I think
but don't show your face.
Here is why I feel when looking at this, I was like, everyone's picking the same Final Four. What is the one choice I can make that other people will not make? And I don't think anyone else will feel comfortable doing that.
I hope you don't.
Get beat up. I feel less comfortable than I did moments ago from how you guys reacted to it.
Well, we're obligated to react that way.
Right. As much as you feel like you have to hedge on one side, we have to then be tough on the other side. We have to do this because we fear for our safety.
Yeah, I'm going to get my cooler smashed at the tailgate. Darren, you pick your pick.
Okay, let's see what's different here. I have LAFC beating Vancouver. I have I have Seattle beating Houston, which I believe I'm the
that's-
only one to
Yep,
have.
you're the only one.
I think that's a hard-fought victory. I think they go into playing LAFC with false confidence that they think, well, we've been waiting our whole lives to finally beat LAFC. It's just not going to happen.
That is the ultimate funniest thing that could happen.
Yeah, I think they're just – you would think that they would just put so much focus and effort into finally figuring out how to do it. They don't have the resources. RSL beats Minnesota. Galaxy beats Colorado. Galaxy beats RSL. I have Miami beating Atlanta. I have Orlando beating Charlotte. Miami Orlando is a fun matchup if Orlando shows up.
Oh yeah, we could have Miami Orlando and Hell is Real in the same.
Could be two rivalries happening.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, that would be
and
fun.
Atlanta Miami is sort of a rivalry too.
Yes,
that was a genuine rivalry before Messi showed up, and Atlanta got terrible, right?
So that'll be fun too. Mercedes-Benz is such a big fucking stadium that I bet they'll be able to fill the whole thing for Messi too, because they have to play a game in Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
that'll be really fun.
They put like 50K
but
in
how
there.
many of those fans
like
will be Messi fans
people.
though?
Yeah,
that's the only.
That's the thing. This is the only time where it might not be. They're putting like 40, 50,000 Atlanta fans in there on other games.
Yeah, but those Messi fans though,
you can't get away from
for sure. They'll be the ones to fill it. But that'll be an awesome game. That one game.
Yeah,
that's Friday, right? That's tomorrow.
I think yeah.
Well,
not the one in Atlanta. But
the Atlanta isn't. Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, they'll lose.
Messi cam.
Messi cam. So I have Columbus beating Red Bull, and I have NYCFC upsetting Cincinnati.
Oh,
they've done it before. They can do it again.
Okay.
Also, I think NYCFC has. I agree they've been streaky this season from the highlights I've watched, but they look really good when they're good.
They're talented. They're so inconsistent.
Yeah. Columbus plows through them. Here's a way you could have picked something different without picking the Galaxy. I have Columbus upsetting Miami. They have cakewalked, so healthy, not a care in the world, not a ding on them, not a scratch on them. They walk into Miami, who's just played their rivals, two rivals. They've barely gotten through at this point. And Columbus plays Miami. They play perfect Nancy ball.
How many hat tricks
and they
does
somehow
Messi
pull it out
have
in
before this game?
PKs. What?
How many hat tricks does Messi have before this game?
He'll have a hat trick in this game, and they'll still lose.
Columbus has beaten Miami in important games, right? Like, didn't they
Columbus
knock them out last year? I know it wasn't
the point
as good
is,
of a team, but
I would love to see
this year. The first game that Messi missed, everyone was like, "Oh, they play Columbus. Like Columbus is going to kick the shit out of them." And Miami won, and that was when everyone started to go, "Huh? Could Miami win games without Messi?" And then they just kept doing it. Yeah, and we were like, "We should have learned. They can do it."
Yeah. Darren, I thought about this upset. People are going to pick it. I'm just trying to go with things people aren't going to pick.
Well, once you're in the semifinals, none of this is wild. Like, as much as we clowned you for saying Galaxy beats LAFC, like these teams are so evenly matched.
That's why it's a good rivalry.
If the four is Columbus, Miami, LAFC, Galaxy, those are above and beyond the four best teams in the league this season, and the teams that you would expect to reach a final.
If you told me midway through the season one of those four teams would win, I'd go, yes, of course. That makes all the sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, Darren.
I have to say that as much as it would be really insane to be able to somehow pull it out against Messi in Miami, I would be more excited to avenge the Columbus Crew and win. Which
is that your pick?
Secretly, Darren really wants to go to Columbus again.
It's an interesting
Didn't
question,
think about
Darren.
that part.
in the video that we made from that, which you can watch on our Instagram or TikTok, you say Columbus, Ohio, who I swear on my children's lives, a city I will never go back to as long as I live.
Whoa.
If we make it to MLS Cup final and you have sworn on your children's lives, will you go back to Columbus once and for all? Give us an answer.
Hard pass.
I gotta sucker someone else to come to fucking Columbus with me again.
Why are you going?
Yeah,
I love that milk.
Follow-up question: why are you going?
Yeah, good point.
I could be convinced.
Well, those are our picks. I don't want the Galaxy to win. I don't think they will, but I picked them. When we come back, we're gonna make some bets, different bets than this, and now some ads from the good people at Swiffer WetJet. The pod is purple and the wet is jet.